Holy smokes. Hey, gun people. Man, I don't know how I missed this. This was posted back in 2014. But, I mean, that may seem like a long time ago. But this just shows the mentality and the crookedness of cops and DAs. I'm more offended by the DA than I am the cop on this one. This DA is just freaking outrageous. So, what happens here, and I'll try to remember to put a link if I didn't, right there, 2 false charges, Electra, you can go watch it, look it up, okay? Just because I don't put a link, don't mean you gotta cry in the video. He dies doing it, but shut up, you big crybabies. Alright, so this dude gets stopped by 2 cops, and they charge him with false ID because he knows the law and tells them not to, and gives him 2 freaking tickets. I'll play a little bit of it, but I really want to play when he goes to court with the DA. So I'll probably bump it up here.
Yeah, we're good. Okay.
Section 3802, failure to arrest or data not under arrest, nor had I been driving, and therefore I was not obligated by law to cooperate, so I was willing to cooperate. Ellis, my name, Officer Matt Wood, goes to the other side of the van. And opens the door. No probable cause, no consent, or even bothering to ask for it, but he cannot search the vehicle because I had been busy giving all my his search.
That? I'm not searching your car. Okay?
To those who think I was being unnecessary.
So immediately when he objects to search, the guy tells him to get away and to go back to where he was. That's kind of a clue that the cops got caught doing something wrong.
I'm not making it anything worse. Once you step back over here, I'm asking. We don't know if you're sure.
You're getting close to an attitude. Really? What's an attitude? And what penal code section is that? Is that in the Welfare and Institutions Code? Or is that in the Evidence Code? Or is that in the Penal Code? What section is getting an attitude? Really? Wow. Do we live in a jackboot society now? There goes those damn bootleg jackhammer, no good for nothing communist. Cop
I was
offers,
stunned.
yes, we
I
do.
could not believe he just said that.
Wow. It's a jackboot.
These are jackboots.
Buddy, that is a term that you cannot ever say.
Hey, you don't know what to do. You're getting out here when you don't need to. You're getting out.
So like a lot of cops do, when you start questioning them, they automatically go into hands-on. Let me put my hands on you because I know that'll provoke a response. Let me start patting you down and grabbing your crotch and doing things because that might provoke a response. And if it doesn't provoke a response, maybe I can just intimidate and invade your personal space and violate you so much in a nice, kind way as police officers do nowadays to ensure their safety, that maybe you will accidentally pull away or react. And then that will spring the mousetrap. And I can say, you resisted arrest, you pesky tax-paying citizen. I got you. That's exactly what this is.
Excessive force. That hurt.
Absolutely should be charged with excessive force. There is no way. This guy has not been uncooperative at all. There's 2 cops. He hasn't done anything, and he grabs his hand and starts twisting it and putting a pressure and pain compliance. There was no need for any compliance. The guy was complying. So this cop is a piece of crap, no good, low down, dirty douchebag. However, He's not as low as the DA. Wait till you hear this DA.
First off, we got
So they're like, damn, he didn't pull away and try to resist, so we can't really arrest him for that. Let's see what else we can come up with.
here for public safety and to make sure everything okay, and you come in with an attitude totally uncalled for, okay? Totally uncalled for. Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
I'm sorry, whose attitude was that?
Yours.
All right, I disagree.
So you think you can just talk to anybody, especially law enforcement personnel, just any old way?
You can't talk to anybody, especially law enforcement. We have a badge. We have a gun. We can arrest you. We can search you. You better learn your place, you pesky low-down citizen. Really? Wow.
Yes, sir. That's either yes or no. Okay.
I would expect you to say that.
Well, I tell you what, you're not going to come to me all cockeyed and bowled up. Is that understood?
You're not going to come to me all cockeyed and balled up. Is that understood? Well, hell, man, you talk to him just like he's your kid. Well, I guess you can do that. You got a badge and a gun. Hell, I mean, you're right. That guy should probably be kneeling down and bowing and saying, I'm sorry, officer, you are on a pedestal and you're better than me and you're better than everybody else because you have a badge, gun, and authority.
Is that understood?
A quick refresher on fail to identify. No, I was not.
I'm sorry, what? Doesn't identify. Whenever we asked you about information, you said no, you guys want to walk off. All right? You're a liar. You're making this up. Come on.
You're a liar. You're making this up.
Take you to jail on it?
You want me to take you to jail? Because I will. So, this sounds like that judge that put that guy in jail on a $500,000 bail for a $1,000 fine crime. Because she didn't like his attitude. She didn't like what he said. This guy's saying, if you call me a liar, I'll take you to jail. Again, what crime exactly is that?
I will. Bring coffee, your coffee. Just make this shit up. Penal code, immigration code, everything. I was not under arrest. You were lawfully detained.
But you were lawfully detained. Wood, you need to read a penal code. It specifically says when detained, you cannot compel ID. Only when arrested. In Texas, anyway.
You think so or not? No, I absolutely agree with that.
I then noticed the second citation for fail to display driver's license. I had not operated a motor vehicle and this had been in the not.
Don't display driver's license. All right. And the warning was... Does it matter that I wasn't driving?
So the cop admits you were fixing to drive. So now we're back in the pre-crime that if you're fixing to drive, you're thinking about driving, you might drive, or you're by a car that could be driven. I'll just write you for driving without a license. Are you kidding me? Man, these cops in Electra, Texas, they need some serious Second Amendment audits or First Amendment audit.
I'm sorry. I'm just asking.
Wood and Ellis issued me a citation for an offense they were both certain I had not committed.
Just one more warning. You know that you... One more warning. Or you get in the car and you fucking leave. Alright? Alright, give me the ticket. I told you before, and I'm going to argue out here. It was...
Simply because I verbally objected to their unconstitutional search of my car.
I agree. He got 2 tickets because he objected. So he had his wife drive off, and now he gets in, he's got the recorder on in the courtroom. Okay, so according to this, he goes to court and he does what's called discovery, and he gets a copy of the DVD from the attorney, from the DA. And this DA is totally being a jerk to him and trying to intimidate him. He's not being fair. He treats him like he's a second-class citizen. He tries to intimidate him about the law. He threatens to arrest him. He threatens to call the chief of police. He threatens to make the... I mean, he just is all in this guy's face trying to intimidate him. It is absolutely outrageous the way this DA is treating this person. And he would never do that to another attorney. That's why I tell people, represent yourselves. These DAs think they're bad to the bone and they're all tough. But as soon as they get beat by somebody that's not an attorney, oh man, their ego is bruised. All the other attorneys give them shit for days. They give him stupid awards for losing to a pesky citizen. There was one guy in YOLO that he probably beat like 5 different DAs in the DA's office. And every time he went to trial on a new charge, they'd give it to the most cocky DA who thought he could do anything, and he'd end up losing. And we would all go to trial, and we'd sit in the back room and snicker and laugh. And every time he showed up the DA, we would just laugh our butt off and then swing by his office later and go, "Hey, man, that dude kicked your ass." "Man, fuck you, man. Get out of my office." But I digress. Let's get back to this crooked DA. So he doesn't want to review the DVD in front of the DA because it could tip his case. And he wants to know what he wants to argue before the DA does. Because if the DA's watching it with him, and you can tell this DA is trying to intimidate him, and he would be interrupting and say, "See, you admitted right there, we're going to get you, we're going to prosecute you." And he wouldn't let him watch the DVD. So him wanting to watch it in his own was a smart move. And he wanted to wait. And he pissed the DA off because the DA tried to say, "If you don't watch it right now with me, I'm taking it back." And the guy goes, "No, you're not. It's discovered. You already gave it to me. It's my copy." And the DA gets pissed and threatens to call the chief of police. This DA is the absolute, just standard operating procedure for arrogant district attorneys that think they are above the law and nobody ever tells them anything. Watch this. Here's a little bit more where he talks about, if you want to pause it and read it, you can do that, or you can go watch the whole video. But I'm just skipping to where the DA comes in. So this DA, I don't know if he's still with the DA's office in Electra, Texas. Hell, he's probably been made a damn judge, or he's probably sitting in the damn Texas Senate, damn unconstitutional, low-down, dirty piece of crap. Anyway, Todd Greenwood gives him the DVD.
Gives me a DVD with a copy of the police dash cam video. This is my copy, right?
Yes. Here's your copy.
Okay, so the guy was good. It's like, "Hey, this is my copy." Guy nods his head, "Yes, that is your copy." Now he's going to want to take it back if he won't let him view it. What an intimidating, arrogant jerk. And when you hear what this guy says about the Constitution and how cops lie and how juries would find him guilty if he wanted them to find, I mean, it is just outrageous what this DA says.
Let's go watch it collectively if we can. It's your copy after you leave with it. But until then, I'd like us to watch it together.
So it's your copy after you leave with it. But until then, I want to watch it. That's total BS. He's trying to play his lawyer, bald-headed skin tricks on this guy saying, "Oh, no, I gave it to you, but I only gave it to you if you can watch it. If you're not going to leave with it, I'm going to take it back." Just flat out lying to the guy, using his position and authority as a government district attorney, being paid by the taxpayers, a representative of the court, a representative of supposedly we the people, and he just lies and lies in this guy's face.
That's the standard. That's what we normally do.
I mean, this is my copy now, right? Whether I share it with you or not.
No.
You have your own copy. Yes, it is.
I'm going to give you the copy.
You already have given me the copy.
Dude, that pissed that DAs hate when somebody tells them the truth.
You're interpreting the language I just used to say that
I
I've just given you the copy.
I asked you if this was
I'm not going to get into that. I would appreciate if we all watch it together.
Okay, I wasn't.
Okay, so after he couldn't intimidate him and force him and threaten to take it back, he says, "I would appreciate if we could watch it together." So it went from, "You better do it, you pesky citizen," and then when you called me on it, "Okay, let me backtrack a little bit and see if I can sucker you in. If I'm nice, maybe you'll fold, and then I can take advantage of you again."
I wasn't
And
going
then
to.
we can make a determination. I can make a determination.
It's rather
regarding-
long, and I wasn't going to watch the whole thing. I basically just want to make sure that it's from the start to the end.
Here's what I'm going to have to do, sir. I'm going to have to go get the police to bring me another copy so I can watch it.
Oh my God, please don't tell me you inconvenience one of these royalty civil servants who's getting paid. Not to mention he's getting paid to be here. This guy is on here on his own time. This guy's having to defend himself, take time off work, and show up and argue and research the law when you're getting paid to sit there. You low-life, public servant, non-constitution, bootleg, jackhammer, anti-Constitution.
I don't want to do that. I don't normally give DVDs. I've agreed to do that because you reply in your letter.
Oh, so I normally don't do it, but because you were polite, I did it. Because I'm such a nice guy. Cooperate with me. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Hey, people, this guy's job is to find this guy guilty. So anybody that comes here and says this guy's being a jerk and he's being uncooperative and he kind of pushed the issue, this guy is trying to convict him. He could put him in jail if he could and would. So don't come here defending this piece of crap DA. And I know I got some cop lovers out there who'll be, oh, you're picking on the DA. He's trying to help the cops. And you shut up, you big crybaby.
So I'm willing to provide you with a copy of the DVD, provided that we can all watch it together now, and then you can take it with you. Those are your conditions.
Now he's got conditions to the D. First he gave it to him, said it's your copy. Then it was like, I only gave it to you because you were polite. Then I gave it to you only if we can watch it. Now I provided it under these conditions. Man, does anybody see a pattern on how the government and DA, this is exactly what they do to you when you go in there and try to defend yourself.
All right.
If you don't like that, I'm going to have to call the police chief back over here.
Wow. If you don't like what I say, let me threaten you with the government thugs with badge and guns who will come here and do whatever I say. Luckily, the cop comes in and goes, I don't want to arrest him for this. Because the DA wants him to arrest him for not giving it back. And the cop goes, no, I'm not arresting him for that.
Okay.
For what?
So let's just go ahead and watch it together. And then you can have that. You'll be the first.
Okay, first of all, let's make this clear. I already have a copy, and I will share it with you. We can look at it together.
Let's make this clear. You don't make the conditions here.
This guy ought to be a cop. Shit. We should just put him on the road because he's got the exact same attitude. And he knows the code of the ball. If he had his way, he'd want to jump over there and grab this guy and start beating him up. So he's sitting here now. Look at this leaning in intimidation. We talked about body language before. Notice this impeding on his face. Noting this authoritarian looking down and looking up at you like, hey, you better pay attention to me. This guy is the dirtiest person in the jail if he ever walks into jail. No doubt in my mind.
I do.
Okay. I have a copy. You already gave it to me. It's in my computer.
No, you
yes,
don't.
Yes, it is.
Because I just said you don't. And you don't make the conditions here.
Oh, so I can just change and say what happened and didn't happen. This is what attorneys are used to doing to people. And I'm telling you, man, anybody thinks the government is your friend, or because he's a DA, or because he's a lawyer, yeah, everybody wants to blame the cops for everything. And I'm not saying all cops are great and wonderful, because they earn the hate for sure. But DAs just do not get enough credit and enough hate for what they do.
Now, do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. I don't like the light reflecting off your bald head blinding me. Do you mind if I put my sunglasses? Is that okay? If I put my sunglasses on, are you going to call the chief because I don't want to see the reflection off your head? Is that a new crime too? Mr. Lean Up on Me? Dude, this guy would not want to do that to me, but that's all right. This guy played it pretty cool. I wouldn't be as cool as this guy. Just my, typical bootleg behavior.
Will you call the judge in, please?
You're free to go talk to the judge if you want to.
Judge, would you come in here, please?
Why don't you go get her instead of making her come in here at your beck and call?
Making her come in here. She's getting paid, and we're here, and we're having a disagreement, and the judge is supposed to rule on things if there's disagreement. There's nothing wrong with him wanting a judge to be here for this. But this guy wants to intimidate him and go, no, You notice he didn't go get her. You notice he could have said, absolutely, let me go get her for you. Well, he's getting paid, Rick, and he shouldn't have to do that because he's getting paid to sit on this chair and collect money. This guy is just lower than well poo-poo.
Call as though you have some directive power over anyone in this location. That's her chambers. You can go talk to her.
I'm good.
I'm beginning to understand why you have the charges you do. You seem to have some expectations about public entities and your power over them.
Wow. I'll give him one thing. He ain't holding back. I'm pretty sure he don't know he's being videotaped. But I give him one thing. He flat out told him what I tell you people all the time when y'all go, "Oh, Rick, you're just protecting the cops and you don't believe in the Constitution." I'm telling you the way it is. If you don't think government thinks you're a pesky taxpayer, and then you idiots want to, well, they work for us and we pay their salary. Well, you're a freaking idiot, because government does not care about your salary and you don't pay nothing, and they're going to take your taxes whether you want them to or not. So don't act like you're volunteering my paycheck as a government employee. And don't act like I work for you, because nobody in government believes that, thinks that, or behaves in that way. And you may not like it, but don't hate on me for telling you the truth. Go look in the mirror and cry.
Some controlling sense. And why is your boy here to witness this? Isn't today school day?
Oh, now we're going to threaten him with truancy. You don't have your kids. Now this DA is like the master of deflection. This all started on a DVD that he gave it to him, and it went from the judges to his ability to have control, to his ability to think public employees, to now, why isn't his kid in school? Man, this DA, see, somebody that don't understand all this, they'd be like, that DA's good, man. He can switch from, they're all weasels like that. Okay? A rat doesn't have to stay on one piece of cheese. He can jump around and taste them all.
That's my business, not yours.
You're right about that, but let me put it this way. Render the DVD back to
I will not. That is mine. You may call the police and get your own copy if you wish.
What does the judge do? What does the lawyer do? What they always do. They run to the judge and cry. And because they're all in the little bar together and they're all in the little secret lawyers club with their secret handshakes, they always cater to each other. Told you about that one case where we chased, I didn't, but the two freaking incompetent DAs chased a guy with a warrant. He was an attorney. He ran from him, ran into the courthouse in the judge's chamber and requested asylum. Don't let him arrest me, judge. Don't let him arrest me. And the judge told him, don't arrest him. He's in my courtroom. Pretty much gave him asylum, kicked the cops out, and the cops left. And I said in that video, if it was me, I'd have snagged him. And if the judge tried to stop me, I'd have arrested him. But cops nowadays, they don't want cops thinking or doing things or knowing the law. They just want them to be yes boys.
All right, this is an ex parte.
We need to call the bailiff.
All right, I'm sorry. This conversation should not be happening without both of us.
So the DA goes, we need to call the bailiff right now. So he goes in there and bullies the judge. And what is the nice female judge who... Oh, no problem. She gets on the phone and calls the bailiff.
That's why the door's open. Would you call the chief?
Yes.
Would you rather do this in the office with the door closed?
No, I would not. I would not. I'd rather be doing it out here. This is why I brought the boy, so he can see how this works.
Hey, is Chief there? Tell him I need him down here immediately.
Immediately, I need the chief, because the DA, because we're all government and we have one pesky citizen that's trying to exercise his rights, and we're not going to have that in Electra County, Texas, or Electra City, Texas.
Please. We have a gentleman in the office. I just need the chief here.
We have a gentleman in the office. No, we actually have two people party to a court action that you're supposed to be presiding over, and because you're in your office and you're not out there, you don't know what the hell's going on, and you've automatically taken the side of the DA without ever hearing the other guy's story. Gee, that's not going to hurt his case. Guess how she's going to rule?
Thank you. Get me right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I under arrest now?
I don't know.
I don't know. That remains to be seen. Really? So now the DA is going to arrest him for stealing a DVD that he gave him. Oh my God.
Does it? On what charge would that be? I'm ready to proceed with the hearing, if you wish. I'll be out here at your leisure.
Okay. Have a seat. Thank you.
You bet.
Guy handles this pretty cool and does everything right.
Electra Police Chief Johnny Morris arrived as judge, and
you know he ain't going to win the court case, so let him have it. So the DA really wanted this chief to arrest him. And luckily the chief said, I ain't arresting him for what he's done. He ain't done nothing wrong. But if it was up to the DA and the judge is there, you think the judge would intervene and say, look, chief's right. He hasn't committed a criminal offense. We need to move on. Of course not.
the video showed everything I needed to be viewed on the judge's computer. Greenwood wanted to chat about what was on the video in my version of the events, and I agreed. After listening to my side of the story, Greenwood gave me...
There would have been no audio. You would have been in a small town that didn't have audio or video equipped, and there's still some, if you go towards Lubbock, that don't. You would have been here, we wouldn't have had an audio or video to look at, and the officer, if you had pressed it the way you are now, pressed your rights, the officer would have taken the stand and testified that you laid hands on him.
This is a DA who is prosecuting cases against citizens, admitting that the officers come in and lie routinely if you, what was that word he used? Pressed your rights. Out freaking rate. This DA should be freaking disbarred. He should not be in the legal system. I can't believe what he is saying.
Okay? And a few of them who are worse than Ellis, in your opinion, Ellis or Wood. Some of those guys out in West Texas.
Ellis and Wood are the two cops. So now he's going to try and make West Texas look bad because he's an unethical, unconstitutional, lying piece of crap.
Because what they would have done is they would have put you on the ground in front of your family, handcuffed you, let you spend the night in jail. Then they would have said it was because you put hands on them. Your family would have all been witnesses in your favor at trial. But the officer taking the stand in a small rural community would have gone, the jury would have gone with those officers more than likely.
So even though he knows they're lying, and even though he knows cops lie on the stands, he knows the jury's going to side with the cops. Man, this video ought to be shown to juries when they want to take before a cop takes a stand.
And even if they didn't, no one gives a damn, because it's all, you're having to do all the work driving out there and doing all the heavy lifting. So either way, they would have won.
And he's telling you kind of like what I tell people when I tell you not to fight this on the side of the road with the cops. Take it to court. You're not going to win on the side of the road with the cops. And people want to get mad at me. And I'm not saying it because I don't have respect for the Constitution. I'm not saying it because I think it's right. I'm saying it because that's the way it is. And this guy is pretty much telling them, you know what? We in the DA's office, who's supposed to be working for the people, who's supposed to stop unethical cops, we know what happens. We condone it. And we don't do anything about it. And guess what? You lose. I mean, he even says, you may beat the rap, but you don't beat the ride. The ride to jail. This DA is freaking out of control.
My bottom line, and this is nothing to you except a little preaching, is I get clients in your position. You don't win. The old expression is, you may beat the rap, but you don't beat the ride. The ride to jail. There's some bad people out there, and they wear badges.
Well, that's about the only damn thing that I agree with this whole thing the DA said. The problem is, you as a DA, if you know there's bad cops out there and wearing badges, why aren't you doing something to stop them? Why don't you stand up for the side of right? Why don't you stand up for the Constitution and the rule of law instead of supporting your flunky cops who are out there wearing badges and being bad people? Out-freaking-rageous!
They wear badges so they can get away with it, and they will bend you up. And at the end of the day, unless you've got real good evidence against them, you're not going to get their badge. You may get worse than that, so be careful, okay?
Oh, isn't that nice of that guy's looking out for this guy. Let me tell you something, people, that was an underhanded threat. That was an underhanded that if you ever come to this town again and now the cops know you, and they arrest you, and they come to me and tell me that you put their hands on them, I'm going to convict you and go after you with the full force of the law, and you're going to lose. So that's a warning. That was not any way, shape, or form this guy being a good guy looking out after this guy.
I'm going to ask you a question I don't want you to answer. Do you have a criminal history? The reason I would ask you that question is because if you go to a trial without an audio video and you're in your situation and somebody was wrongfully arrested and you have a criminal history, you're going to lose because they're going to believe the officer and not the guy with the conviction. And you're not even from that town. And the officer is and goes to Sunday school with the people on the jury. In small rural communities, that's how it works. You ever seen the movie Deliverance?
Are you freaking kidding me? This DA just compared him to a backwoods country getting screwed in the butt? Holy smokes!
It's not quite that bad, but that kind of gives you a picture.
Man, I can't believe it. I was watching this and I was like choking on my coffee going, are you kidding me? Is this really happening in this day and age with video and audio? This is a practicing lawyer, a good standing member of the bar who works for the district. He's responsible for prosecuting and protecting the innocent. And this is his attitude. Out freaking outrageous.
All right, so be careful when you get outside of the suburbs, outside of the donut, because when you are, it's a different world.
Oh, why's he got to bring up donuts? Now he's trying to crack on cops. Why you got to bring up donuts? Hell, why don't you bring up bald heads? What? Rick, you can't say, oh, watch it. I can't believe this.
People, when they're from the suburbs, they don't necessarily realize what's written down in the Constitution is one thing, and the real practice is another.
What the mother? This is a government lawyer who's prosecuting people. This guy is putting people in prison, people. This is like Jeff Reisig, that piece of shit DA that I worked for, that was trying to hide evidence on a murder trial and get a conviction of a death penalty case, and then got mad at me because I said I ain't going to be a part of it, and I'm blowing a whistle. That's BS. This is the kind of crap that these DAs that get in office, and you can't get rid of them. That's why term limits are good. That's why most DAs sit in there for 30, 40 years. They get the job, and then they never freaking leave because that power is just like a drug. Outrageous!
And you're just not in the same kind of protections you have in Allen and Plano and Richardson and places like that.
So we do live in a jackboot society.
Sometimes, and we shouldn't. Sometimes it's better just to stand there and let it all roll.
Yeah, better just to let them stomp all over your rights, let them write you tickets, let them search your car, and don't try to exercise those pesky rights in the pesky Constitution just because you pesky citizens pay taxes. Out-freaking-rageous.
All over.
You better not.
Safety tips were brought to you by the Electra, Texas Visitors Bureau.
Okay, man, I just don't know what to do. This is like outrageous to me. Although it's an old video, every defense attorney ought to have this and play it for a jury when they're listening to cop testimony and it doesn't make sense. Out freaking outrageous. All right, we'll end that there.